Hello, let's do the New York Times Hard Sudoku for January 17th, 2026. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. All right, we got 2, 8, and 9 in this box. Let's do one at a time. So 2, not really seeing anything to do with 2. All right, 8. We do have 2 8s here. It's an 8, one of these two. Horizontally, nothing with 8. The 9, we do have 2 9s here. It's a 9 in one of these two. And not really seeing anything else with 9. Anything else of note here? We might as well take a look at this column, which is down to 4 digits. We need a 3, 4, 6, 7. So 3, 4, 6, 7. This is not 7. That's not 3, 7. That's not 4. That's not 6. All right. So I guess we'll just have those penciled. Let's move on to the next box here. So 1, not seeing anything. 3. The 5 and the 7 look down, and this 5, 7 look down. So the 5 and 7 are over here. I see this 5 helps, but we're just going to corner mark it and clear it up. All right, so not quite a hidden triple. The 1 is in these 3. Yeah, the 2. All right, yeah, no hidden triple yet there. We also have the 7s horizontally here. Puts a 7 in one of these two. And this is a filled box column. So what we want to do is we want to look at these two columns for any givens that aren't yet in the box. We just have 5, 6, and 7. So the 6 looks up. That's the only one. And that puts a 6 in one of these 3. And that's going to point. Normally, a 6 could have gone over here, but they're just filled with givens that aren't 6s, right? So we take advantage of that. We say, well, the 6 ends up over here. That's going to point down. This 6 looks up. And that puts a 6 in one of these two. So what we learned is that these two aren't 6. This 6 was already looking in. So we cleared 6 out of these two. It's nice to just give it a little bit of thought to see if that does anything immediately. I don't think it does, but all right. I think that's all we got out of this. These two cells, this isn't a 9. This isn't a 2. Okay, so what I was looking at here is that we know they're not 5 digits already. They're not the 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. So 5 of the digits are just out, leaving only 4 because there's 9 digits total. So we just need one more digit from the rows in order for that to be markable as 3 possibilities. I don't mark 4 or more. It just gets cluttered. So we do have that because this sees 9 and this sees 2, which are not digits I mentioned. So we can just talk about the 4 digits they need to be and clear out the 2 and the 9. So they could be 2, not 3. They could be 4, not 5, 6, 7. They could be 8. They could be 9. That's not 2. That's not 9. All right. I don't think there's anything immediate to do with that, but we'll keep that marked. We also have this 7. 7's in one of these two. So what I'm immediately looking for is, do we have something else looking through here and through here that would give us a hidden pair? We have the 1 and 3 that still need to be placed, and that's actually good enough to do something. So yeah, we have our standard New York Times trick here. So we can see it either way. Today, let's see it this way. So 1, 3, and 7 are not yet placed in this box, and we know they can't go here. They also can't go where these givens are. So we're going to need to put a 1, a 3, and a 7 into this box. And these are the only 3 places it can go. We need 3 cells. We only have exactly 3 cells. And so these end up being 1, 3, 7. We can clean it up a little bit. But that means that these 3 digits are not anything else that we thought could be in those cells, because one must be 1, one must be 3, and the other must be 7, and there's none left. And so that leaves the other 3 digits here. So besides 1, 3, 7, and 5, 6, 8. So we need the 2, we need the 4, and we need the 9. That's not 2, that's not 9, that's not 4. Always annoying when that happens, where they don't resolve. And then these 3 cells, we actually have kind of the corollary here. I call it the corollary. We have 5, 6, and 8. And then we have 1, 3, and 7. So 5, 6, and 8 can't repeat in the box, and they can't go where these givens are. So this is where 5, 6, and 8 go. So you're going to see that immediately from the start as well. You can do 5, 6, 8 against this column, or you can do this column against this box. Doesn't matter. Now this sees 6 and 8. So we actually had a hidden 6, 8 pair here. And then this has to be 5. And actually now we get the 6 and the 8. So this resolves in some way, however you like to. That places the 5 here, places the 4 over here. We can clean all this up. 3, 7, 3, 6, 7. Anytime we like clear out digits or place things, we want to follow up. So there's a lot to follow up on here. I'm going to start up here since we already did this band. It's a high priority to find follow-ups because we're not going to revisit it. So these 2 8s look in, at least not until we've scanned a bunch of other things. So 8's in one of these two. We have the 6. I really don't see anything to do with 6. We already have it marked here. And then we got this 5. We have all these 5s. These two 5s look up. Oh, right, I didn't check verticals. So 6s are one of these two. Oh, 6 is placed. That's even better. Yeah, okay. 6 is placed. All right. What's going on with 6s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 6s. We need 4 of them. We have them marked here. We have them marked here. And then these two boxes are pretty open. Here and here. Oh, not here. Okay, that makes some sense. So 6 is one of these two. Like turns the corner. Not here. Oh, 6 is one of these two as well. Yeah, it's doing like, oh, this is an interesting one. It's like a, that's kind of fun. I don't think it doesn't resolve. But you don't see that exact pattern very often. I think it's because we have those givens sitting there. If it was like this, I think it would be a little bit more clear, that a little more standard. Anyway, sorry. I like to look at patterns, single-digit patterns like that. Sometimes they're fun. Little divergence there. 8, 6, 5, 6. So we filled this box column. We filled this box column. So basically, we want to look at these digits. So 5, 6, 8, and 6. We already have the 5s marked. Yeah, there's really not. Oh, the 8. 8's one of these two. That points. Oh, we have 8 here. Okay. Well, all right. So anything else from this? We removed 2, 4, and 9 from here. I'm not sure that does anything specifically interesting right now. The 2. All right. Anything else in this band that I want to take care of? What about these 3 digits? Because they're not 1, 4, 9. They're not 6, 8. So we almost have a hidden triple here. I don't think we do, but these are limited. So what's left? We need we have the 1. We need a 2. We need a 3. We have 4. We need a 5. We have 6. We need 7. We have 8 and 9. So this sees the 2. This sees 5 and 7, and this sees 5. So actually, these two 5s I kind of missed because I didn't scan horizontally from. No, I must have just missed it. Anyway, 5 is one of those two. 2, 3 looks promising actually. Like this is not a triple, right? It's 4 digits in 3. But we may want to ask the question, and I don't know if the answer is yes or no yet. We have to scan it. That's the whole point. We may ask the question, do we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple? And so the question we want to ask is, well, what are the other digits that are left besides our givens and besides 1, 2, 3, 4? Well, that's going to be 6 and 8. So if there's any one of these cells can't be both 6 or 8, then that is down to just 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have our quadruple. Basically, do we have a hidden 6, 8 pair is the real question we're asking. And unfortunately, the answer is no. We do not have a hidden 6, 8 pair. This comes closest. It can't be 6, but it can be 8. So at least for now. So we do not have that quadruple. Basically, another way to phrase this question is, what are the digits I haven't thought about? Like the digits that aren't in these 3 cells, right? What are those digits? And it's the 6 and the 8 are the only two unaccounted for within these cells. And so maybe we have a hidden 6, 8 pair. Is another way to think about that, if you prefer. All right. Did not find anything there. Anything else to follow up with here? I don't think so. Let's move on to the final band, and then we'll see what to do. So 5, 6, and 8. So the 5s and 6s are done horizontally, and the 8 doesn't have a buddy. 1, 3 don't have a buddy. Yeah. So nothing really more to do in this band. We kind of trust the fact that we already scanned downwards, so we don't have to scan these upwards. You can as a sanity check, but you're probably, I mean, it would just find mistakes in scanning. It wouldn't find anything new that you didn't try to scan yet. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go box by box. Usually I would go row by row and then column by column, then box by box. But I do remember getting quite a few like pointing and claimings. And I often ignore those by accident when I pencil. So I'm just going to look at all of the corner marks that I have and just make sure that they've been respected. And then at the same time, I'm going to look to see if cells that aren't corner marked could be worth marking up. So in this case, for example, we have 4 givens in this box and the 6 and the 7 corner marked. So that's already 6 digits. These aren't. So maximum, these have 3 digits left, so we know they can be marked. So we do need a 1, and this top one can't be 1. 2, we need a 3. We have 4, we need 5, and that should be it. We have 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's not 3, and that's not 1. So 3, 5, does that... We've got 2, 3, 5, and 7. So that does appear to be a naked quad. I'm going to explain this because if you can understand this naked quad, you can understand any of the any of the pairs, triples, quads that are naked. So by naked, I use the words naked and hidden, and there's a reason for those words. Naked meaning that it is clearly, plainly seen. So it's kind of the opposite of hidden, which is not plainly seen. And that's within the context of, most of the time when you solve Sudoku, you don't have this dual notation. You just have one notation. And often, especially if you're auto marking, it's just going to go, hey, for this cell, it sees 1 and 2 and 6 and 8 and 4 and all these. And so 3, 5, and 7 is what's left. And it's going to put 3, 5, and 7 in there. And here it's going to look at all of the things, and it's going to go, oh, only 2 and 3 are left as options for this cell. So we're going to mark 2 and 3. It's going to do that in every single cell if you're like auto marking. And that's kind of what people were doing when Sudoku theory was first getting crafted and the names were getting cemented. And so like naked single, right, we just nakedly see, oh, this cell, it's only got one option, so we can place that option, right? So a naked quad is saying we're just looking at those candidates. We're looking at what I call center marks here. And what we're seeing is that in these 4 green cells, I'm just going to start counting on my fingers how many unique digits I encounter. So starting at the top, I have 3 and 5. That's 2 unique digits. Now I'm going to go down to 3, 5, 7, and I can just reference backwards. 3 I've already seen, 5 I've already seen, 7 I haven't. So 7 is a 3rd unique digit. So far, no good, right? What we want is for the number of fingers I have up to match the number of cells I've visited. I've visited 2 cells, and I have 3 fingers on my left hand here. But now we're on the 3rd cell, and we have 2 and 3. 2 we haven't seen before, so that's 4 fingers up now. And the 3 is not new, so that's not a new unique digit. So now I have 4 unique digits in 3 cells. Finally, I've got 2, we've seen that. 3, we've seen that. And 7, we've seen that. No new digits. And I'm in 4 cells. These match. Congratulations, I have found a quad because I have 4 fingers up. So, and it's a naked quad because I used the center marks. So what does that mean? Well, it means that within these green cells, I know I need 4 distinct digits, and I only have 4 distinct digits. I just counted. They are the 2, 3, 5, and 7. And so therefore, we cannot use more 2s, 3s, 5s, or 7s in the column because they're guaranteed to get filled into all 4 green cells. Because if I try to omit any of 2, 3, 5, or 7 from the green cells, I won't be able to fill all the green cells. I need 4 distinct digits to fill all 4 cells, and I only have 4 distinct digits to fill into them. And so those 4 distinct digits get filled into them. That's the best I can explain it. But that means that we can eliminate 2, 3, 5, and 7 from these 3 cells. And so this cannot be 7. And that immediately places this 7. Now, this is what's called a hidden single because this cell can be at least 6 and 7. If we were to center mark it, it could be more than that. I don't know exactly how much more, but this cell can be more than just 7. However, the box needs a 7, and this cell is the only cell in the entire box that can be 7 now. And since we need to place a 7 in the box, we place it. And it's called hidden because imagine if you just had a sea of center marks in your puzzle. It's not going to be necessarily obvious to be able to just like stare at all the 9 cells in this box and go, 7 can only go there, right? It's kind of hidden. It's something you have to like really pay attention to, as opposed to there just being like, that's a 7. That's only 1 7th corner mark. Okay, that just sticks out plainly. It's naked there. So anyway, that's our 7, and that's what the corner marks are doing for us, right? I wouldn't have known that without my corner marks, which told me where 7 could go in the box. So that's our 7, and that removed a 6 corner mark, and that places our 6 here. That removes our 6 center mark there and corner mark. And so since I removed a 6 corner mark, I want to place this 6. And that removed an 8 corner mark, and now there's only one place for 8. That removed a 5 corner mark, now there's only one place for 5. And that is going to resolve our entire quad, because this 5 gives this, now this is a naked single 3, right? That's our 3. Now this is only 2, and now this is only 7. So our entire quad just got completely resolved, which is amazing. All right, I think all the 6s in the puzzle get resolved as well. Cool. This is down to, this can't be 5, so this is down to 1 only. That's 5. This is 3, and this is 7. This is our 1. That places the 7 up here. This is 3 and 4. That's 9 and 2. All right, up here we get the 5. Okay, so I think we solved the puzzle. We just have to plonk the rest of the digits. So what I like to do when I'm in this, like we have so much placed, most of the rows and columns are extremely restricted. So once you're in this situation, what I like to do is just target the row, column, or box that has the fewest open cells left and pencil that and potentially place the digits. So in this column here, we need a 4 and a 9. And we scan to see if that's resolved. It's not, so we just put a 4-9 pair there. This is down to 3 digits. We need a 1, 2, and 3. I see this 1 and this 3, but it's not resolved. All right, now we look elsewhere. There's 3 digits left here. We need a 1, 2, and 9. So I'm seeing that this can't be 1 and this can't be 1. So the 1 is placed. And then this is down to 2, 9, which is unresolved. All right, this box is down to 2, 4, 8, 9. So this is 2, 4, 8. Sorry, 2, 4, 8. And so I was suspicious about 9, but it's in 2 places. This is 2, 4, 8 for the row. It's not an 8. All right. What about this row? We need 3, 4, 9. This can't be 3. This can't be 3. So 3 goes here. And this is down to 4, 9. This column is down to 2, 4, 9. All right. How about this box? Down to 4. Sorry, this is 5 digits. Let's do this column, which is down to 4 digits. I have 1, 2. I need a 3, 4, 8, 9. 3, 4, 8, 9. I see this can't be 3, 4, or 9. So this is an 8. This is down to 3, 4, 9. That can't be 3. Here's another cool technique you can use. I do not use this one because it is within a class of techniques called a uniqueness techniques. And so we know that a proper Sudoku puzzle has only one solution. That way we are able to logically solve it. If there was more than one solution, you would not be able to logically solve it. At some point, you would have to choose one of the solutions, which involves just placing one of the digits for no reason other than I have to choose one of the solutions. And so, for example, for the New York Times puzzles, who are a legitimate publisher of Sudoku, their puzzles are always going to have one solution to them. So kind of a requirement. But it's not technically in the rules. And there's nothing in the rules says there's only going to be one solution to this puzzle. It just says you got to fill the digits. So technically a blank grid follows the rules. And so we have to add the assumption that there's a unique solution for this logic to be valid. But if we do assume that there is only one solution to this puzzle, then I know this has to be a 3. Because if it is not a 3, so we're kind of proving by contradiction, here's what happens. We have a 4-9 pair in this row. So nowhere in this row can we resolve this 4-9 pair. You can't resolve a pair in the same row that it appears in because we're not going to place a 4 or a 9 that would tell us how these resolved. Right? If I placed a 4 or 9, it would actually make these both 9 or these both 4, right? So in this row, there's no way to resolve the 4-9 pair. In this row, there's also a 4-9 pair. There's no way to resolve that. In this column, there's a 4-9 pair. No way to resolve that. In this column, there's a 4-9 pair. No way to resolve that. In this box, there is a 4-9 pair. No way to resolve that. In this box, there is a 4-9 pair. No way to resolve that. So if you have something like this, where there's only, basically this can't happen is the point. Because if it were to happen, there would be nothing telling us whether we're supposed to put 4s here and 9s here, or 9s here and 4s here. Oops. Therefore, there are at least 2 solutions. In fact, there's an even number of solutions. And so we have to avoid that. And in order to avoid that, I have to place this 3. Now, I'm not going to use that, but we can watch that cell and see that it becomes a 3. I'll even, I don't know, we just remember that we said that would be a 3. So anyway, it's never required to use uniqueness, but if you encounter it, it can just kind of speed up your solve quite a bit. It can bypass a lot of things. All right, because the computer couldn't use uniqueness to prove it was unique, because you have to assume it's unique, and once you've added it as an assumption, you can no longer prove it if you're using that assumption in your logic. Anyway, this row needs a 1. This row needs a 9. That comes up here, and this is a naked 2, and this is the only place for 9. That's 4, 9, and 2. All right, we're down to a 4, 8 pair here. Down here, these aren't 4s. All right, I want this pair here. 1, 2, we need a 3 and a 4. So this is 4, this is 3, that's 8, and that's 4. All right, this pair here, 7, 8, it looks like. This is not 8, so that's 7, and that's 8. That places this 8. All right, this pair here is a 1-2 pair. This is the 2, this is the 1. That gives us the 3, 2, and 1 here. This is not a 3. The only place for 3 in this box is where the green cell is. So that did end up 3. All right, that's our 9, that's our 2, that's 4 and 9, that's 4 and 9, and these 2 digits are 4 and 7. All right. So some teaching moments in here that I haven't revisited recently. So I hope that was helpful to you. And you might ask something like, well, I have actually seen those rectangles happen. Let me find one for you. Sorry, I'm just hunting. I don't know where one is, but I know what I'm looking for. Just give me a moment. But I can actually find you rectangles like that in our solution. 3, 6. They always exist. I just have to find one. Sorry, usually it doesn't take this long. Usually they kind of pop out. 2, 6, 2, 7. Huh, this grid is harder to find one. Here we go. Here's one. It's not the best example, but 3, 8, 3, 8 here. So how did this happen, right? I thought this couldn't happen. Well, these are given. So the way that we actually disrupt, because they're always going to exist, like uniqueness formations are always going to exist in our final solution, which means that within every single one of those formations, so every single unique rectangle that you find in the solution is going to have at least one given, and that given is disambiguating it. The only reason this 3, 8 isn't swapped is because this 3 was given and this 8 was given. We only had to give one of them to resolve this, but I mean, both were given for whatever other reasons. But maybe I don't know if I can find one that doesn't have 2 givens in it, but yeah, here's one. So here, the only reason we couldn't put 4s here and 2s here, it would have been a completely valid Sudoku fill. It wouldn't have disrupted any of the rest of the grid. But the only reason that didn't happen is we were given this 2, which told us how to resolve it. And actually that concept was used to prove that you need 17 givens in a Sudoku to be unique, 17 or more. If you have fewer than 17, it is guaranteed not unique, unless you have other rules besides the standard Sudoku rules. And the reason for that is it was done by brute force, but the way it was brute forced, it would be completely unviable to brute force it. The way it was done, it still took years of CPU time, but for every single possible solution to the Sudoku, they identified certain uniqueness patterns within those solutions. And then they did a cover algorithm to see how many minimum givens would be needed in order to resolve all of those uniqueness patterns. And they found that there wasn't a single Sudoku grid where you needed fewer than 17 givens to resolve those uniqueness patterns. Pretty neat. All right. Well, that is it for this puzzle. I hope that this was a fun one to watch. I like to spout out random info like that. Make it more interesting. Let me know how you did, and if you enjoyed this, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.